Canada, in Africa, in Europe, in South America. Welcome one more time to our series of these amazing interviews that are picking up a lot of traction. So in the meantime, people are start gathering right here. I'm making sure my internet connection is okay. There you go. Now it's starting to pick up traction. I'm so happy to be here today to continue the series of interviews with now somebody who's becoming a close friend, because we are sharing a lot of the meet and greet, the beauty and the dirt, you know. So I'm just waiting for people to show up to see how we can welcome here. The internet connection is working. It's Tuesday, our 35th day of interviews. My promise was to deliver 100 days. This guy also has a promise that if you go and check out his Facebook, you're gonna see another also promise for 100 days. I think we both got inspired from the same person. So to do justice with you guys, not to consume a lot of your time, I know you're working, I know you are probably eating lunch right now, or you're gonna be watching this later on. I'm here thrilled to have one of a good friend, and also somebody who works in the same industry as we do over here at Wired International and Wi+Cowork. Needless to say, I'm here with Yuri, and saying very Spanish way, like Yuri, who is from Canada. And to do justice, why don't you tell our audience a little bit about yourself, and if you don't do justice, I will ask the questions.
Awesome, man. Well, I just want to start off by thanking my buddy here, Juan, man. So grateful to have me here, part of this challenge. If you check out my Facebook, I'm doing a similar challenge. It's 100 Days of Love, where every day I'm sending a video out to somebody that I love and just letting them know how much I appreciate them having my life.
Yeah. Also, as a man, it's very difficult to, for us to supposedly in business to express love. So I appreciate you doing that. I follow your videos because I watch them also. Tell us a little bit, where are you from, where you coming from, and how in the hell you ended up in Texas? Hello, Gopal. Hello, Mariana. Welcome to join us, and everybody that started to join the Facebook Live.
Awesome. Well, I'm actually from Montreal, Canada originally. Grew up there, was there until I was about 18 years old, and I decided to go to the United States to do school there, to pursue my hockey career. That was really my gateway to the United States.
Keep talking.
So I went to prep school in New Hampshire for a couple of years, and I got a scholarship to go to play Division I hockey at Quinnipiac University. Played there for 4 years. Got my undergrad in pre-med and my MBA there. And once I graduated, I actually played a year of professional hockey in the Phoenix Coyotes hockey system in Atlanta.
I mean, he just ended up playing professional hockey. Yes, out of the blue, right? I'm pretty sure there's a lot of work, put into the dedication before getting to that. So you played for who?
It was out of Atlanta, but it was in the Phoenix Coyotes hockey system.
Okay.
Yeah, this is just a short, condensed version of my whole life. So I was there for a year, and then I decided I wanted to hang up the skates and get my real life on the way and get into real estate. That was my passion. My great-grandfather was a big developer in Canada. Okay. He owned a very large company there, built one of the biggest buildings at the time. So he's a very prominent person in Canada. He got the Order of Canada, which is the highest distinction.
Okay, so you're one of the few ones that already had at some level, previous exposure to real estate. Everybody talks about real estate like, yeah, it's a place to make money because it's only for money-hungry people, which is actually not what we believe. Mm-hmm. So, okay, you tell us how, you ended up here because of the hockey, or how did you end up in the States, and what was your first city?
Okay, so my whole influx into U.S. was from hockey. Okay. But I wanted to stay here in the United States because there was so much opportunity here.
On commercial, am I correct?
Correct.
So commercial real estate. Tell us, for those who don't know, what is commercial real estate?
So in real estate, there's residential and then commercial. Commercial encompasses pretty much 4 main areas, which is retail, office, industrial, and multifamily, which is apartments. And so I want to get into the commercial side because my whole thought process behind going to commercial rather than residential is that I got into real estate to own real estate. Correct. And my end goal was to own commercial properties.
Correct.
And so I became a professional for the commercial side to learn that side. Residential is a lot more geared towards helping people find houses.
Correct.
And in that process, you're working different hours. You know, you work on the weekends, you're working at nights, you're working with people's emotions rather than on the commercial side where people are making more business-oriented decisions.
Correct. So which is, neither one is better or worse. It's a totally different, actually a different whole of the spectrum. A lot of us, or a lot of people trying to, and you know what happens when we try to master too many things at once. A lot of times it doesn't work that well. Do you have something specifically? Are you more geared to warehouses, buildings, or office, or what is kind of like you would say that you feel more proficient at?
I would say retail and land.
Retail and land. And I know this, you mentioned this off the record, is that you like going for the deals that are not currently on the market, which is more complex because you have to really go after the landowner or the building owner and trying to come up with value to them and value to your potential clients, right?
Correct. So really early on, I noticed that in order for me to start getting traction on my business, I needed to do a lot of cold calling and a lot of sourcing, a lot of networking. And I became really good at that. Hockey, ironically, gave me very good skill set for real estate, because real estate, you don't really need a formal education. It's just an amount of how hard you work, and if you're good at building relationships with people, then you're gonna do very well in this business. So relationships and work ethic are two of the biggest ones I found. And so for me, coming in here not knowing many people, I just started cold calling, networking, meeting people, correct. And I started drumming up a lot of business. And a lot of people I noticed in my business don't take as much time to focus on new prospects and doing cold calls and all that whatnot. So there's a lot of opportunity for people.
It's what we call the hard work. You got to put in the hours. You got to put in the hard work. Now, how old are you?
29.
29 years old. You're very positioned. You are also combining a new passion and a new talent in your life. And this is something that actually is connecting us more and more. Tell us a little bit about that.
Oh man, I love to talk about it because it's something that I'm really passionate about, just like real estate. But I would say about a year ago, it really took it to a whole new level. And the reason being was I was at a point in my life where I had everything going for me financially. Right. I was traveling. I had a great group of friends. My lifestyle was great, but deep down I knew that there was something missing, something that wasn't fulfilling for me.
Correct.
And so I sought out I need to change this, because if I go down this route, I know that everything you hear out there, money doesn't bring you happiness, success doesn't bring you happiness, it comes from within. And so for me at that time, I just didn't understand that. Really.
Totally. I mean, look, you guys need to listen. I know we've talked about this before. So you actually were looking for answers and actively continue to look for answers into what is our purpose in life. Even though we belong to an industry that is very money-driven, very ego-driven, and very decision-making process-driven, which makes sometimes life more chaotic and complex, because we work with people, we work with emotion, we work with interest. So now bringing this element into your life, I'm pretty sure it brings you the balance.
Correct. Totally. So last year, I really got into it. We were just talking about one of our favorite people we like to listen to, which is Tony Robbins.
Well, he's my mentor. He doesn't know it, but he's my mentor. Yeah.
He's a lot of people's mentors. Definitely one of my top ones. And something that he says that just really epitomizes why I got into this was, he said 80% of success in anything is psychology. And for me at that time, I just didn't know much about psychology. You asked me about it, I wouldn't really understand the full intricacies of mindset, attitudes, psychology. I mean, I have a lot of that strong mindset innately from hockey. But really understanding it and bringing it to a level,
exactly.
It wasn't there. So that one statement made me have this addiction to do a bunch of different education, self-education, self-improvement courses.
We wrote right here on the description also a lot of self-improvement, and we don't want to categorize anything because we talked about health, wealth, wellness, a combination of many factors that brings a meaning to life. Why are we here, and why are we killing ourselves so much for this certain thing? Is this going to fulfill us,
Yeah.
So I know you're already helping as a business and life strategist, helping others through your journey, through your business, through your vision, and through your actual active, constant, daily learning basis. Because when we were the word improvement is that we're not saying that we're trying to fix ourselves, you know. We're just saying we would like to be the best we can be to us and to others. So
Correct.
we had this kind of we were having this conversation before, you know, off the record before we started the interview. Also, how different, you know, going back to your roots. I mean, tell us, it's between, you know, Canada and US. A lot of people, you know what they do? They sandwich both together, and it's not like that.
Wait, so repeat that question?
Yeah, because most people, Canada's so close to the United States, it's kind of like the same thing, you know? And
Yeah.
not necessarily.
No, totally
Not
different.
at all, as a matter of fact.
Very different cultures here. When I came down, even in the United States, whether it be in the Northeast or in the Midwest or the South, I mean, there's different cultures
Different
all
cultures,
across. But when you cross boundaries, going to Canada, it's very different mindset up there, different cultures, different values, different political system. So there's a lot of big differences, but I appreciate both.
Correct. Now, this is the first time, I think our connection is probably not the best because we normally have the people here and it keeps going on and off. So this is going to be recorded no matter what. Please, whenever you watch it, we love the comments, we love the thumbs up, we love the appreciation. So now you also are bringing a little bit of with you from Canada. When you go back to your home country, I'm pretty sure you have a totally different set of spectacles when you go back home. You're like, oh wow, I probably, if I was to come back, or maybe this can be better, or you bring elements from Canada. That's the beautiful thing of, you know, having diversity.
Yes, I mean, when you step outside your comfort zone, for me, I've moved to many different cities. I lived in Montreal, Atlanta, Chicago, Houston, Connecticut, New Hampshire, just outside New York City. So I've experienced a lot of different cultures for an extended period of time, and each place I go to, I notice that I grow exponentially because I'm immersing myself in a whole new environment where I don't know many people. I'm going out there to meet new people, meet the culture,
Emerge
myself in all this stuff, and traveling. In all those situations, I'm stepping outside my comfort zone. Not many people have that opportunity to go move to different places or go travel, but it really expands your horizons, expands your mindset, develops your perspective on the world, and it makes you appreciate how everybody's so different or a unique way, but they're all beautiful.
Correct. Totally agree with you. Now, one of our promises is to keep this as short as possible so you can actually enjoy it, share it, like it, you know. Maybe if you have more questions in regard to commercial real estate, you know, get back to Yuri right here. His information is linked right here. Follow him on Instagram. It's also linked right here. Now, very quickly, we promise not to become political or become religious driven. Give us your feeling about what's going on with the immigration laws and the most recent immigration laws. Just as an overview. If you say I don't want to talk about it, we'll move on.
No, I'll give.
Thank you, Lily. Happy Monday to you too. I appreciate.
I mean, obviously, immigration is a huge subject, but I'll just share you a little bit about my experience and what's something that's passionate about me and how I relate to the immigration in terms of Canada and the U.S. border. Something that I notice is a little bit of an issue is that a lot of people go to school in the United States, whether it be for a scholarship or just wanting to go to a great university there. And for me, I had a lot of friends who went to my university who are Canadian. And once you graduate, though, you only have 6 months to find a job.
Wow.
And then if you do not, you have to go back. And I think that's
they call it the OPT right here.
I think it's affecting the country in a lot of ways because, you know, if you're teaching people this great education, right? Wouldn't you want to keep those people in the United States as highly educated people who went to higher education? I mean, these people have a great skill set, but because of the tough immigration laws, it's not so easy to just get a job or even start your own business.
True. So I from the, you know, we're speaking of, or having the view of, let's say, a recruiter or a company that is looking for talent. You know, talent doesn't discriminate on borders. Talent is purely your attitude and your aptitude. You know, your skills with a set of as you as a human being. So I know that a lot of employers are right now very worried about, hey, it's not that the talent is not here, but it doesn't really matter where you're from. Either opportunity is there and you have to come from all, elsewhere. It's shutting a door. It's shutting a door for what this country has become successful, which is producing all these new technologies, and the brains and everything is actually manufactured here. That's why we have Silicon Valley, we have New York City with its financial districts.
Well, just to add on what Juan just said, is that our country, the U.S. was built on immigrants, right? Immigrants came here. The Indians were here before the Native Americans, so it was built on immigrants coming from Europe or wherever. So what I noticed is that immigrants are extremely hardworking. In my business, I'm in retail. I do a lot of retail, leasing. So I deal with a lot of business owners. And a lot of the business owners are actually immigrants who moved here 20, 30 years ago when they were very young.
Correct.
And each of these guys are extremely hard workers, are extremely grateful, appreciative of the opportunity. They're down to earth.
Correct.
So I see a lot of greatness.
True. I totally agree with you. Now, moving forward to, we talked about we're passionate about real estate, specialized only in commercial, also very, very active recently with the community. I've seen him in events, I've seen him with other people that are key leaders in the community in Houston, Texas, which happen to be our friends. So I see your face. If you want to follow his Facebook, it's 100 Days of Love. 100 Days of Love. Please listen to the messages. They're amazing. They're full with all, love and authenticity. You're delivering a set of emotions through those messages.
Yeah, hashtag the 100 Days of Love. You'll see the
people. I'll do the hashtag over here. Maybe when you get a chance, also make a comment on the comments right here. I don't know. We're keeping on and off. There you go. We're still on. The phone doesn't stop ringing. Now, our promise is to keep it as short as possible. Before we go, what message can you leave the audience with today? So normally I ask a more specific question, but since we are into the self-improvement and becoming a better human in a way, what message can you leave the audience today on Facebook?
I would say that for me, the biggest change in my life has been in the past year, where I've grown absolutely exponentially. And the reason for that was that I focused so much on self-improvement and my mindset. A lot of this stuff that I learned, I did not learn back in school. And I did my undergrad and my graduate. I did my master's, and in all that time, I never learned this extremely powerful tool of understanding psychology, your mindset, your attitude, because at the core, that's what's going to affect every area of your life, whether it be health, wealth, relationships, love, your joy, your happiness, your day-to-day activities. So I would encourage every one of you to really start looking into self-improvement, mindset. A lot of what Juan and I talk about, some of our great mentors that we talk about are Tony Robbins, Jim Rohn. You can fill in on other people.
It's funny because I'm such a passionate about Tony Robbins that I want to, but I've been exposed to many. I call him, Tony was able to change my life. I think one of the reasons I'm doing this set of interviews is because of him. Now indirectly, but directly, 8 years ago, that when I started taking control over my actions and control over my life and becoming more of a producer rather than a consumer. So taking life in your own terms. All of these are words coming from Tony Robbins.
Yeah, and to continue on that conversation is that, to give you some perspective, really today compared to last year, a lot of the things that for me have extremely changed my mindset is that I'm much more grateful. I appreciate things, whether it be the little things, whether we have the nice lighting in this room or the food that I was eating today, the nature, the beautiful trees we have, start appreciating everything. I'm much more present than before. I would consider myself somebody had a busy brain. I would always say that. So my mind was always racing. But now I'm a lot more present in the moment, what's going on, listening to people, listening to understand, not just having my mind going when people are talking so much. I'm a lot more authentic. and vulnerable and honest about what's going on in my feelings because my ego has been cut down. You know, I think
being vulnerable is one of the biggest challenges. You know, like
especially
being able
men,
to, especially us men, that we try to keep, you know, this hard figure and we're tough and we're here for business and negotiation because we may be looked as weak. You know, we continue to be men, women continue to be women, but showing emotions, it seems to be an obstacle for men. So
I believe a lot of media has to do with that. Movies, you know, if you look at what masculinity is in movies, it's like these heroes, these superheroes who are just straight-faced and they don't express any sort of discomfort or whatnot. But
thank you, Ana, for joining us right now. She was here recently from Brazil. Ana Vita, thank you so much. We were having difficulties with our streaming, but we're back. So I think you have a very powerful message. If you have the option to connect with Yuri, if you're in Houston, you may contact him directly, have a coffee or I don't know with him. If you're not in Houston, we have something beautiful called the internet, the social media. His IG, Instagram is already linked right here. He's already also tagged on these comments. Please, if you have any questions in his path, is something that I will strongly recommend anybody to start getting more influence, if that's a word. Connect with him, you know. That's what we're doing here, life and business strategies. Guys, again, thank you so much for giving us 10-15 minutes of your time. If you think this video has any value to you, to any of your loved ones, any friends, please, please, please give us the thumbs up. We love the thumbs up. Give us a comment right here in this section that you're looking at and share it if you think this may impact somebody that you know. Thank you, Cynthia, for joining us. We got people in Houston, people in Arkansas, and for some reason our stream was down today, but it's gonna keep rolling. Share it, like it. Thank you so much for being us. Thank you, Cynthia, for the thumbs up, and have a remaining amazing day of the day.
Namaste,
Thank
guys.
you, Namaste.
Thanks, Juan. Appreciate it, buddy.
Thank you.